not the podcast you are looking for.
If you're looking for the same old content delivered by the same old people, you are on the wrong pod.
This podcast has life form. You are listening to Stash and Lash.
You're listening to Stash and Lash, the show where we talk about everything that unites us as Mexicans.
One living in the US and one living in Mexico. The Stash and Lash Show. Is this thing on?
What is up, everybody? Once again, for another episode of Stash and Lash, here with you at Stasho.
And Lash. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, the last show. Thank you for asking. We're you know what? I'm kind of sad.
Why?
Because we're coming to the end of October, Stasho.
I know.
I keep calling you Stasho.
You've been calling me Stasho so many times, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's my name now. That's my name now.
You're looking for asking, what's your name, Stasho?
Stasho. I'm in the Stasho.
It's coming to an end. We have a few more weeks until October is no mas, my friend. How do you feel about that?
I know. We've been waiting so long for this since the beginning when we started to planning and coming with ideas and whatever, and like October is going to be like wild, and we're almost over it.
But you know what?
It's been so much fun.
It's been so much fun. We've had a lot of fun. The last episode blew up. Oh my gosh. People loved our episode. Thank you, everybody, for watching our last episode around the Squid Games.
The Squid Games. Thank you so much, everybody, for the support, for the love. Please give, if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, whatever the subscribe button is. And yeah,
and hit
share.
the bell button to get notifications.
Exactly.
Like that. That's real sound effects, G. I'm not, forget about this artificial stuff. You didn't know that was coming.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right. Well, today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, is around the curses around scary movies, or the curse of the movies. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. We had so much fun. We're gonna have to tone down the voice, you know. You're gonna have to talk like this, something like that.
I want to have you see, you have the talk down voice. I'll have like the welcome to this next episode of the Scary Movie Cast. Did that sound good? Is that good?
Yeah, it sounds good. Yes, exactly.
Sound like Elvira meets
Oh!
Hey, darling. Yes.
Hi, my darling. How are you today? Yes, movies with myths and a lot of things like that sometimes are creepier than the movie itself.
Yeah.
Right?
So urban legends, myths, but also like, are they real curses? Are they not? We're going to talk about them. And then we're going to, after each one, we're going to show 4. That is correct. 4 scary movies. That's what we need sound. That's what we need is custom, like 4. 4.
We have to record something like that. And here come the 4 or the stash stat or something like that.
Yeah. 4 scary movies with curses behind them. So we look, you know, long and far for these movies, and we tend to find out that they are creepy. Like, even we were talking about it, going, "Are you gonna watch it?" And we're like, "Yeah, I guess."
I have to, right?
Are you gonna be online in case I need you?
Yes.
Support
Can I
me,
text
please?
you? Can I text you
for
anytime?
moral support, por favor? I mean, I'm a little creeped out, you know. All right, so let's get this started. So here are the 4. We're gonna review a Rosemary's Baby. We're gonna also review, I know, right, The Omen, followed by The Exorcist, and then the Poltergeist. What a great lineup! Wow.
It's
if this was a fantasy football team, we will be killing it.
Well, we can.
All right.
Buckle up, people. It's gonna get wild.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the first one is going to be Rosemary's Baby. So let's talk about that first, G. So I know we're gonna go back and forth, tell each other what do we know about this movie itself. So first of all, we know it released around 1979, correct? And it was, you know, tell us a little bit about this movie, G. What do you know about it? And then we'll talk about some of those urban legends.
I watched this a long time ago, and what I know about it, I didn't watch it this time again because incredibly I couldn't find it anywhere on my streaming services. Either I had to pay for it, and I was not going to pay So I just I just found a summary on Google and that's it. So yes, around late 70s, and this is a young couple that they moved to New York City to an apartment, and they were neighbors with an allegedly satanic members of a cult. And long story short, they get like involved, and she gets pregnant, and allegedly the son of a demon or something like that, right?
She was gonna have Satan's baby. Yeah, and that was creepy, very creepy. And then again,
that's creepy. Like for a summary, that's creepy, right?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
We can finish it off. No, but here, yeah, that's already, that wasn't creepy enough. You know, a couple things that I found out in my research, G, is first of all, the director was Roman Polanski. Was the director. And he was he is well known. A lot of you probably recognize him because he had a famous wife by the name of Sharon Tate, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But he is well known, right? This is one of his movies that he was trying to break into Hollywood. You know, his directorial debut in the States, and he did a couple weird things. So one of the things that came up in this, right, is that his method of directing was a little creepy. You know, he was very in your face. I mean, here's a picture here. You know, very in your face. A lot of the scenes, he tried to make it as real as possible. And you know, one of the weirdest ones that he did, you know, one of the creepiest things he did is there was a scene where she was the actress who is ¿cómo se llamaba? Her name was what's her name? Mia Fowler. I think.
Mia Farrow.
Yeah, Mia Farrow. And there was a scene where the car scene, but what Roman did is he just said, "Hey, just run into traffic." This was live New York traffic, going back and forth, and she said, "Hey, just run in traffic, just do it," you know, and you know, really like said, "Hey, you have to do this. Like, we have to make this as real possible." So he did it, and of course the car stopped. You know, they're freaking out. They stopped, and people were like, "What the heck's your problem? Like, this is crazy." And he's like, "Dude, people in New York are going to stop for a pregnant," because she was showing that she was pregnant in the wardrobe. But here's the kicker: it wasn't just one time, G. It was multiple takes that she had to do this, and it was so freaky that a lot of the camera crew did not want to film. Roman had to be the one running the camera because none of his crew was saying, "You're crazy. I am not filming her death, right? Running out to traffic while she gets ran over. Like, that's crazy." I don't know if you knew about that, but that, I mean, yeah,
I didn't know about that.
But that's creepy, right? Like, that's
because of his style, or because he was like, "F it, let's do this." Like, I don't care if we don't close the streets. The style. I wonder if that could work like now. I don't.
But you know what you're thinking about this? Have you if you see a lot of these movies back then, a lot of these directors really put a lot of women through a bunch of crazy stuff. I mean, did you see like the Shining? Remember that? Did you hear about that one where she was being tortured?
Oh, that's another good movie.
Yeah, that we should have talked about that one también, because it seemed like he said 100 some takes of her, and she was literally in panic mode, right? The actress. But these directors, man, they really put them through a lot of crap, man. So that was one crazy thing that I found out. Also during this time, Mia Fowler, also she was married to Frank Sinatra. I don't know if you knew this.
Yeah.
So did you find out what happened during the filming with her and Sinatra?
No. Tell me everything.
During the production, this is when they got divorced. So they divorced during this time. So, but here is another thing, right? Is that, you know, before the film even started, people were already saying, like, "Don't do this film. This is creepy. You're gonna do a film about, you know, having the devil's kid, you know, say, yeah." And when you started seeing these things, right, where the Roman people thought sometimes he was going crazy in the stuff he was asking her to do, run in traffic, do it. Like, who does that? That seems like somebody's a little possessed. And then, of course, she had this, you know, her divorce with, you know, Frank Sinatra, Mr. Blue Eyes, right? So that was creepy. And then another thing.
But it had something to do with.
No, don't. We're talking about the Omen next, but yeah. So what do you think has something to do with the curse? I don't know. But what else did you find out, G, about this creepy, curse of Rosemary's Baby?
I tell you, I couldn't watch it again, and I'm intrigued. Now I'm very, very intrigued, and I'm going to watch it soon.
Yeah.
Because I want to see those scenes of her running on the streets
and now
of
you
New
know
York.
it's real too.
And
It's real
now
panic.
knowing that those are not actors, those are real people in their cars in New York City, and she's like randomly running with a fake pregnant belly. It's going to be interesting.
And then, again, here's another couple of things to add to this before we move on to the Omen. So, Brett, the movie was late 70s. So, I mean, it was a 69, right? Late 60, like I think it was like in the late 60s, right?
69.
Which is again very interesting number. Not Jenny, but the different number. But here is the kicker. So 2 years or 3 years prior, there was Anton Levy. I don't know if this name sounds familiar to you, but Anton Levy was the first founder of the Church of Satanism.
Okay.
So 3 years before this started, right? So this is when I think society in the 60s, the people were starting to get a little bit obsessed over the Satan worshiping stuff.
That's crazy.
But it makes sense, right? Because here's the kicker. What makes it even more of a curse, going back to Roman Polanski and his wife, Sharon Tate.
Sharon Tate.
She is well known, right? We know this. She was a victim of the Charles Manson family that murdered her and her baby that was still in her.
Yes, she was 8 months pregnant with her baby boy.
Oh my gosh,
and
wow.
She got murdered in her house with a bunch of other friends by a bunch of people from the Manson family.
Yeah, but then thinking about this, here's the kicker that makes this creepy, right? And curse is that it was also like a cult, and they were also kind of saying that they were like a Satan worshiping family. They were called the Family, and I think didn't Manson have like a weird sign, and he had the swastika in his forehead, I think. But it was very similar to the story of Rosemary's Baby.
Of Rosemary's Baby. Do you think that's why they like, hey, she's having like the baby of blah blah blah?
That may be. I don't know, but that's creepy though, right? The fact that there's that connection that happened not long after.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then of course a couple of fun, I won't say fun fact because it's not fun, it's creepy fact that Polanski a few years later, I don't know if you knew this también, you're like freaking out now, right? He started getting into substance abuse, alcohol, y todo eso. And back in Europe somewhere, he was doing some kind of project, and he ended up abusing a 13-year-old woman. He was 42 years old, and then I don't know, he was not 42. He went to jail for about 42 days, but then he got released and then evaded the police from there. And I don't think they ever found him. I don't know.
No. But I knew about the abuse story. Yes. So again, it's like a curse. That
a lot of things happen there, right? I mean, this is probably out of the four. This is more of the light, because then they're gonna get creepier and creepier. This one is the least creepy and cursed one, but there's a lot of connection there with that era. A lot of people into Satan worshiping, and there was very pop culture. But then you have Polanski. Good. What's that?
Oh, it's like bring me more. Talk to me.
Yeah, bring me more. So let's go with number two. The Omen. Even this picture, that kid. I mean, oh my gosh, can you imagine having a kid like that, G? I mean,
the thing that creeps me out the most is how, I mean, and this is like a mom perspective talking. A mom. How do you let your kid do a movie like this? Like, I'm thinking like, yes, he's going to be a superstar or whatever, but I don't want my kid to play the Antichrist or whatever the name is. Right?
No, it's creepy. No, yeah, exactly. Hey, Your kid's in Hollywood. Congratulations. What role is he playing? He's
Oh
gonna
my
play Titan. This kid.
Oh my
Damien.
god, Damien. Oh, he's
Yay!
Damien.
They're like, hell no. It's gonna pay this much. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
do it. He's like,
Go for it.
we're
Be
gonna put a number on the
Be
snap.
extra creepy, sweetie.
Be extra creepy. Be yourself.
Be-
So I can imagine the scene, right, where it's like, what movie is he playing? He's gonna play Devil's Son, say Damien, and be like, no, I'm good. And he goes, I'm gonna write a number on this napkin in blood, and then I'm gonna slide it over to you and let me know. She's like, okay, we'll do it. No. So a couple things about this one, right? So I think Harvey Bernard was a producer. Here's the first kicker about this whole creepy thing about the Omen. The producer received a warning in advance before they even started producing by someone named Bob Munger, and he told him the devil does not want you to do this picture. He told him this, and that was creepy. And then what happened is that later on, they went back and said, hey, they did an interview with him, Munger, and they said, hey, what did you actually say? Because that's the rumor. You said, hey, the devil doesn't want you to do this movie. And his quote, and I quote, says, if we make this movie, you're going to have some problems. The devil's greatest single weapon is to be invisible, and you're going to do something which is going to take that invisibility that make that visible for millions of people. He's not going to want that to happen. And then they didn't follow up and said, what made you say that? Right? Like, how did you, what? Like, that was weird, right?
What?
But like a great
producer,
exactly. Like a great producer, he said, "F it, we're still gonna do it.
Bring it on. Yeah,
we're gonna go ahead and do it."
Wow.
Did you find any other interesting facts in this?
No, this is all yours too. This one, I'm just going to say that this one also creeps me the F out.
Yeah.
Again, everything involving kids creeps me out. And this kid, and that scene where he's outside with his mom, because he's adopted, right? He's adopted. And when he's outside this church, and the teacher of the nanny or something like that, like throws herself from the roof of the church or something like that. It's horrible. And she's like, Damien, like calling him out. And oh my gosh, it's terrible.
It's creepy. It's a creepy movie. The kid did a good job in acting, by the way. Again, his mom did a good job in training him.
Amazing job. Again, amazing. Yeah, that creeps me out too. Yeah.
So all right. So here's some more things
facts?
that you want. Here's some more facts, and Jeet, I'm gonna creep you out even more. So, a couple other things before production. There was a suicide by one of the lead actors, Gregory Peck, which played this, one of the sons. No, actually, one of the actors, Gregory Peck, his son, the actor's son, shot himself in the head in 1975. So just a year before the movie released.
Oh my gosh.
So that was creepy, right? So that's another thing. So Gregory Peck's son committed suicide. Mark, again, earlier I said Mark was Mark was one of the special effects folks that did a lot of the special effects for the movie. He after the movie, he was in the Netherlands filming another movie called A Bridge Too Far, and he is well known. One of his special effects, if you recall the movie, there's a scene where somebody gets their head chopped off by this glass.
Yes.
Right? And it's pretty cheesy now when you look at it. You can see it's like a mannequin head. He's pretty cheesy, right? But during that time, he was driving in the Netherlands during this movie with I think she was like a makeup artist, some other lady with him, and got into a horrific car accident, major car accident, and he survived. But, and this is actually John Richardson. He survived. But his passenger, Liz Moore, had her head decapitated.
No. Oh.
Very similar to the scene that he filmed, like this scene here. Creepy, right?
We have to insert another audio, like.
Seriously.
Oh my
so she had her head decapitated. But here's But we're not done, folks.
Oh my god.
Here's another thing. Where they found where the accident took place, they found the mile marker and they found a sign. And guess what the sign said? In the Netherlands, there's a town called Omen.
No.
And it said 6.6 kilometers away. Right?
You are shitting me right now.
Isn't that ridiculous? That's talk about major curse.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
En el kilómetro 66.6. No way.
In the town that, oh man, with 2 M's, but still, that's creepy. Right?
I literally, oh my god.
So, yeah, that's probably the big shocker. There was a couple other things también, right? So, Peck, which you talked about, the director or the actor, when he was right before he was going to go film the movie, he got in a plane. His plane, his plane was struck by lightning a few weeks before the movie was shot. And then executive producer Mark also got on a plane and was also struck by lightning. So 2 different people were in a plane, and then their planes got struck by lightning, right? I put this image because it's part of the movie. It looks like he got struck by lightning, but I don't know what that is. Yeah. And then, of course, the last thing, there's a stunt man by the name of Alf Joint. I think he got high when he did this. Alf Joint. He was filming the same movie, A Bridge Too Far in the Netherlands. He was a stunt man. He was filming the same movie that guy that had the lady's decapitation head. And he was up on a roof, gonna do a regular routine jump, right? You've seen these in the movies where they jump off a roof and there's this like an inflatable, cushion, right, where they fall and they're okay.
Yeah.
Well, what happened is that he jumped prematurely. He flew off and got seriously hurt. And then they went to the hospital and said, what the heck? Why did you jump? It wasn't ready for you to jump. No sé qué. He said, somebody pushed me. And he's like, no, nobody pushed you. He's like, yeah, somebody pushed me. So he swears that somebody pushed him. So, and in the last one, a fun fact, right? The actor who played Damien, Harvey Stevenson, I think he disappeared for so many years. Nobody knew where he went. Like, where is he? He hasn't made another movie. But then he came back. Of course, they found him, and he finally came back, and he actually did a remake back in 2006, and the movie was released in 666, right? So I don't know if you remember that remake. So he came back to making the remake. So pretty crazy, right?
Crazy. I didn't know that Omen 66.6 kilometers. That's crazy.
That's creepy.
That's
right?
super, and
that I should save that for the last. That was probably the creepiest one.
That was amazing.
That alone will make anybody not sleep at night. But are we done?
I'm not sleeping tonight because I'm a creep and I'm a freak, and of course I'm going to look this up, and I'm not going to sleep tonight for sure.
There's a lot of crazy stuff that you can look this up, right? It's insane. But right, they're getting worse. They're getting worse. Okay. Rosemary's Baby. A couple of things. I think the only reason it's creepy is because of the Manson thing, right? Everything else, all right. Divorce. I mean, Hollywood. Everybody has divorces. It's sad, but it's true. You think about it. And then, but then the Manson made it creepy. But then the Omen. That is, I mean, I think I would say that the same decapitation, the scene, but there is another movie, number 3. And this one is when G really freaks out, or still, I get creeped out by this movie. Honestly, I haven't watched it in a long time because I get creeped out. I remember when I first saw it, I couldn't sleep. Like I was freaking out, and everybody warned me, don't watch this movie. Don't watch this movie. It's going to freak you out. And I cannot sleep for days. It was so creepy.
I know, right?
The iconic music, right?
Iconic music. Yes. Everything about it. Yeah, I remember also, of course, I didn't watch it in the movie theater, but I remember when I was old enough, I asked my mom and I was like, hey, The Exorcist. She was like, no, no. And of course, when you're young and somebody tells you no, of course you want to do it. And I watched it on my own, and I never should have. I remember I couldn't sleep for days. And to this day, to my old 41-year-old self, I cannot watch it on my own. It's it's one of those things that it's not like necessarily in your face, you know. You really cannot see the demon. I mean, you can see Regan being possessed and how she changed, and yeah, exactly, you can see that, but I mean, you cannot see like
Yeah.
specific images. You can see like I don't remember the name of the demon. um
Oh yeah, it
Boba,
was
Bofo,
Bofaku, Bofafu or something. Yeah, and I
Bofa,
guess
something like that.
it's a real one. I guess there
That is
is.
a real demon, exactly. And that statue is real actually, and it's horrible.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's why the
I remember
curse.
watching it, and to this day I cannot watch it on my own, or I can watch it like I watch a little bit and I skip parts, and I watch a little bit and I skip another part. Uh, so yeah, this is interesting because the movie itself is creepy. It's, I think, to me, one of the scariest movies ever made.
Yeah,
You can
till
fight
today.
me.
Yeah,
You can fight me because yeah, for me it is, and it's surrounded by mystery, by myths, by creepy things that happened during the production of the movie, and after the production of the movie, and when it was released. And to this day, I saw an interview with Linda Blair, who is the actress,
hmm
Regan, the girl. And to this day, she has like a lot of things going on. She didn't have like a successful career after that. A lot of divorces and situations and personal things going on that and she says that it's because of the movie, like is this
movie.
curse of the movie. And
And she
yeah,
got
we
a
can
lot
talk
of
about,
she got a lot of death threats too from people, right? A lot of
yes,
people were threatening her for why would you do something like that? And it's like,
yes, she had like bodyguards when she was 16 for like 6 to 8 months or something like that, because she could not walk outside of her house without being harassed, without being giving death threats, and you name it. And yeah, that's awful. I mean, again, going back to the Omen situation, like how can you let your kid do something like this? You know, I mean, you can get all the fame in the world, and she also, I think she got an Academy nomination for her
mhm.
role at 15. But again, I mean, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? But okay,
And I
I
wonder
mean,
again, did she, because she did a good job. I mean, it was very
yeah,
realistic. But even the director, I think the director also took it to the extremes, just like
yeah,
Roman did. They would just, take it to the next level and put them in harm's way. So, there was several injuries that took place during the set of the
yes,
movie, right? G,
yeah,
did you hear the one about her, again, going back to Linda Blair and her back and how she hurt
in
it?
her back. That scene when she's in the bed and doing this, exactly that one. She was like, I think she had like a harness or something on her back, and she
Mhm.
was like mechanically pulled up and down, up and down, up and down until she eventually hurt her back and her neck or something like that. And yeah, she had to be in therapy or
Yeah.
things like that.
Oh yeah.
Also,
I think what happened is that then she hurt her back. Something happened for sure, but
yeah,
they didn't go and take her to go to the doctor or anything. They
no,
kept going.
it kept going. And actually, a lot of the reactions were
Yes.
because she was getting hurt, like in real
Yes.
life. So the screams and the facial expressions and everything going on is because she was really getting hurt at that moment. But again, we're talking about the like late 70s, early 70s, and these directors went like crazy, and they were like
Oh, a lot of,
everything to make it like super realistic.
yeah, super realistic, and I imagine there was not a lot of safety around the actors and
I
mostly the
guess.
actresses. I always find a pattern mostly in the actresses, though.
And the actresses, yes.
I
Also,
heard that. Yeah. Go ahead.
the mom, the actress that played the mom, Also, in the scene when she's like fully possessed, exactly that one, and she is playing with the crucifix or whatever, and they're fighting, and they have like this physical situation going on, and Regan, or in this case a demon, pushes her, and she flies across the room. And again, she had a device on her waist and back, and this harness, because she needed to like literally fly from one extreme of the room. And she also hurt like very, very badly her back.
Yeah, and again, like what you said, the reaction of the pain and the agony that she felt was real. Like she was
real.
Really, yeah, man, that's insane.
That's crazy.
Right? So both of them, and again, there was a lot more other injuries, but those were the two major ones because of the two, major cast members, right? Of Regan. And
I heard also that people in the crew, one man lost a finger during like doing the sets and whatever. He got injured and cut up his finger. And I think another person like fell from a roof or something and got like really hurt from. That's crazy again. Crazy.
More injuries.
And a lot of more injuries. Yes. The mysterious fire when the production stopped, when they finished the movie, they have like no explanation whatsoever, but the entire set caught on fire, so everything was lost except Regan's room. So that's extra creepy. So
everybody thought it was creepy, and it's like,
that's
why
crazy,
did
right?
Why is
like
that
how?
Why is that the only place that survived the fire, right? Nobody can explain it.
Yeah.
I can explain it. Ooh.
Yes. That's crazy. But
No,
that's
it's crazy.
crazy.
No, those are all great
And
things.
also, a lot
fire
of
was
people.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and also a lot of people died. Not necessarily people from the movie, like people around the actors and crew. And I think the actor that is a director of a movie that is being filmed in the movie, if that makes sense, that actor died. And also the actress that played Father Damien, another Damien. Mom. She died also.
I think they said there was like a total
couple of months.
of 9 deaths
deaths
with the connecting of the film, which is crazy. But here's a couple other things before we go into 2 deaths that I want to talk about. Or yeah, I guess they can call them deaths, but regarding like when the movie released, right? A lot of audience members would complain and say that they, felt sick, right? That when they would watch the movie back then, first of all, it was a big hit. It made a lot of money, but a lot of people felt faint. They were nauseating. A lot of people vomiting. I think there was even one example of some lady who blamed the movie of her having a miscarriage, right? And people even suing the production company because of what it made them do. So then you see that connection, right? Outside of that. But here's the creepy death, G. And this one's one that, I don't know if you knew about this one, but the voice who played Regan when she was possessed was by Mercedes McCambridge, which is on the left there. And her son, who's on the right, actually committed suicide and killed his family. So let me just repeat that, G. So Mercedes McCambridge on the left, she's the one that played the voice of Regan when she was possessed, right? With the very, very raggedy And I said that she said she was a avid chain smoker. He really had that voice,
She had to like eat raw eggs.
Yeah.
And drink scotch and smoke a bunch of cigarettes to get that like scrapey voice, I guess. And one of my favorite, just to quote, like one of my favorite quotes of the movie that is I don't know why I'm laughing, but it's like when Regan is like on her bed, possessed, fully possessed, and she's like, "Oh, what an excellent day for an exorcism," with that voice.
Yes.
She's like, "So, oh
Yeah,
yes,
sarcastic.
an excellent day."
Yeah.
For I'm not.
And that was
Yes, exactly with that voice. Yeah.
that was Mercedes' voice. But again, the creepy stuff is her son
Mm-hmm.
killed his family and committed suicide, and not that long after the movie, which is creepy, you know. And it's crazy to see that connection there.
Gosh.
But of course, there was another death, and another creepy incident. Did you hear about this? The nurse.
Oh,
One
no.
of the actors that played the nurse in the movie, and in the movie, you can see him on the bottom left there, and then you see his picture.
Mm-hmm.
The man who played the nurse killed a reporter right after the movie, not that long after, I think. Not that long after, and before the movie released, actually, and quickly confessed and said, "Yes, I did it," but he can never say why he did it. He was
Why?
like, "Yeah, I did it." But he didn't have a motive. Like, I don't know why. Like, I just did it. So now you have that's a lot of coincidence, G. Like, that's creepy, right?
So like he was possessed, or
Like me?
I don't know. That's creepy. That's extra
be.
creepy. I didn't know that one. I knew about the voice lady, but I didn't know this nurse character. Craziness.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And again, the fact that he didn't have no reason, like, why did you do it? Like, I don't know. It makes you think, was he possessed? Was he? Who knows, right?
That's crazy.
So, G,
Yeah, that's
regarding that
crazy.
movie, like, it's it's definitely one of the creepiest that you said, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? When it comes to today's movies, do you think it still stacks up there when it comes to freaking people out? Because we have a lot more new movies, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen the newer ones. They don't appeal to me. They freak the heck me out when it comes to any possessions, like Annabelle
Yeah.
and The Conjuring and the series that's going on, right? The Nun. I don't know how I feel about those, but what do you think this stands today? You think it still has that same impact compared to all these newer ones? Oh, Gee, we lost you. Gee, can you hear me?
Do you know what I don't like? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, let's start over again. Okay.
Oh my
So
God,
what
I
do
don't
you
know.
think?
This time it was you who froze. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
So what do you think about those movies? Where do they stand today?
I you know what I hate? I hate that, like, those scares where you're like watching and like suddenly like something appears on the screen. Like, I hate that kind of scares. I don't know if it's because I'm old. I don't know, but that's why for me The Exorcist is like psychologically, I don't know if that's the term, but for me it's like that terror because you cannot really see this entity, this demon, this whatever it is. You just know it's in the body of a young child, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and all these movies, like It, The Grudge. I mean, I did enjoy them like once, but I don't like that kind of in your face, like you literally jump off out of your seat. I don't like that. So to me, to this day, The Exorcist, of course, it's right up there. I mean, you ask anybody, and new generations, if you watch this movie, of course you're gonna be like scared, because again, it's like
Psychological.
playing with what you cannot see. That's for me. That's what does it for me. Yes.
Playing with your head, it's messing around with the psyche or whatever. And you made a good point. Like, the quick jumps and the scares, in the moment they scare you and freak you the heck out, but then it's gone, right? Okay, I'm over it. But this one, it's like sticks with you.
It's gone.
All night.
Exactly that.
Yeah. And then The Exorcist and these other ones, like, you just can't stop but thinking about it. And I have a hard time sleeping after watching these movies. I'm just like, oh gosh.
Me too.
What's
Me
happening?
too.
What's going on?
Yes, exactly. The music, everything that involves like kind of religion, symbols, to me is like terrifying. Like, I don't care about a scary clown. I mean, I don't like clowns, but I don't care about a stupid clown, you know?
Yeah.
But everything that involves religion, symbols,
Yeah.
the priests, how they were like conducting the exorcism, like the power of Christ compels you, how it was freezing in the room, and how she was like getting scratches on her body because of the holy water, and
Mhm.
she was levitating, and her eyes were like white. I mean, I don't
And
know, that scares the hell out of me.
yeah, and I think to your point, the movie starts to get to a climax, right, where it gets worse and worse. The music, the
Yeah.
sound, and then when you think everything's fine, it happens again, right?
It
It's like,
happens again. Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. And that last scene, those stairs, and oh, that's yeah. Like
yeah.
from start to finish,
This is
it's
why you
super
can't sleep
creepy.
after watching these movies. So,
Yeah.
here's a question for everybody watching. Hey, what are your thoughts so far? We covered so far 4 movies. We're going to our last one here next. But from the 4 we discussed so far, right? Is there something we missed from any of those that you found in your, research, or what you've done that you want to share with us? Please, comment in our YouTube page what you think. Actually, you know what? We're going to put it on Spotify as well, and the question will be, did we miss anything that we did not mention here today that you felt was also could be considered part of the lore or the curse of these movies? And we'd like to hear them. We'll talk about it next time, in the next episode. And call, you can say, hey, Z2515 said this, right? We'll give you credit. But we want to know, because there's so much that we probably scratched the surface.
We
Uh,
definitely scratched the surface. We just picked like ones we like, of course,
yeah.
and ones that we think that have like more like scary stuff behind them. Like
Yeah.
all these things that behind the scenes, all aside of the movies being scary by itself, all of those things
And
happening
adding
behind
this
the
element,
scenes.
yeah, adding this element of reality of what took place after, during, or
Yeah.
before. I mean, just again, the lightning strikes, the deaths, those are always a huge and scary. But then at the end, back to the decapitation of,
That's
the Omen.
crazy. That's crazy.
Can
That's
you
crazy.
imagine
That's
though, like
crazy.
being part of the cast and then going back, hey, did you hear about so and so? Yeah, they died on Omen. They're about 66.6 kilometers away from Omen. So,
What?
like, I'm getting out of
That's
here, right?
that's crazy.
Yeah, but we are going to our last movie, and I feel I saved the best for last, even though I think, I don't know. Let me know what you think, because I feel like this one has a lot more. And the movie, you'll see by the movie there, the Poltergeist.
Carol Ann. Yes. Poltergeist. This is like more of our time movie, right?
Well, yeah, with
We
age,
were,
I was only 1 years old. You were 2.
I was two. I was two, but we were babies.
And
We
I
were
didn't see
still
this when I was
babies.
a baby. I saw this when I was older.
Of course. Yeah, imagine me, a 2-year-old, watching this. Like,
Yeah, you were like
hell
this
no.
in the TV.
In the TV.
Yeah. Get on me, TV. 1982 director Toby Hopper and producer Spielberg. So that's a cool, Spielberg was, and a lot of people were saying that Spielberg actually had a lot to do in this movie. Like, he did a lot of the, the scenes, the takes and stuff, even though I think he was producing another movie, or directing another movie at the time too. So he was doing double duty. So a lot of interesting things here to understand, right? I think the biggest one is there was 4 major cast members
Mm-hmm.
that died during or soon after the filming of these movies, which is creepy.
It's creepy. Again, we're talking about deaths of actors and mysterious deaths.
Yeah, let's talk about the first major one, G. And this is like the main actress, right, of all of them. Carol Feelings, right? Heather O'Rourke.
Heather O'Rourke, yes. She
Yeah.
died so young. She had like a disease, right?
Yeah, might misdiagnosed too initially. I think she was 12 when she passed.
Yeah.
She was still a kid,
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was misdiagnosed. I think she was misdiagnosed with is it Crohn's disease? But then they found out that, over time she started getting ill again and got cardiac arrest, collapsed. and then eventually died when they were operating on her. And I think they found out that it was something else. Again, they thought it was Crohn's disease, but it was actually it's a congenital intestinal abnormality or something.
Yeah.
Which is rare, which is weird, right? But again, she was the main character of these. I think, was it 3 movies that she was a part of? Is that correct? Yeah. So
yeah, I think so.
So pretty sad, right? First one, you're thinking, okay, but that's only a coincidence, G. That's just one. It was mixed diagnosed, but then there was a second one, and I don't know if you know much about this one, G. If you do, tell me what you know about her. The sister who played the sister. The older sister, Dominique Dune, is the director, the actress. She played the older sister, and she also died at age 22.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I don't know anything about that.
You didn't know anything about her, so
no.
The story says is that she broke up with her boyfriend, and she was in her Hollywood home, and he came back to beg her, please take me back, right? Like, take me back, and I guess she didn't.
Please don't leave me.
Yeah, please don't leave me, por favor. And then he ended up choking her to death in front of their carport in front of the house.
Oh my god.
Creepy, right?
Crazy. So that's number 2.
She was 22? She was 22 years old when this happened. Yeah. This is after so that's number 2 of an actor actresses directly in the movie, right? The other ones, for example, the one we just talked about, the Exorcist, was 9 deaths, so more, but they were not all actors, right? They were all associated somehow, like, sister, brother. But these that's 2 actors directly in the movie that passed away. So again, you're probably thinking, that's coincidence. It's she had a misdiagnosis and she was strangled. It happens. It's only 2. Well, then we go to number 3, and this was the actor who played the creepy preacher. I think his name was Julian Beck, was the evil preacher, and he died of stomach cancer. And not that long after. Now, this one, of course, he was diagnosed during it, but still, that's a 3rd death of an actual major actress in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he played a creepy role. I don't know if you remember him, G, but yeah, even the picture, he just looks like, hey there, want some candy? Like no thanks.
Hey, little girl. Do you want some candy?
Oh, I see you like TV. I got a TV in the house. Come inside. It's like, no.
Oh, so no.
I know.
No, hell no.
Don't accept candy from a stranger, please. All right. And number 4, and this was one of my favorite characters in this was William Sampson, the Native American shaman who played in the movie. He died after going a heart-lung transplant. So they were doing a heart-lung transplant, and of course he did not make it. It was a very, even though it was a very high, risky operation, still, right? That is 4 deaths of major, actors and actresses in the movie. And
it was soon after the end.
Yeah, soon after he had heart-lung transplant, and it didn't survive.
Oh my god!
Another connection with him. They're saying that he actually did perform like a exorcism in a way in the actual in the production of the movie, like to purify, because he felt that the production or the set was cursed. So he actually performed a Native American type of exorcism, trying to take out
like a ritual.
Because he was a true.
Yeah. Oh, actually, the same thing happened. Yeah, the same thing happened in the Exorcist set. Because they had a priest come and advise them about the procedure of an exorcism and whatnot. And eventually they were like, hey, could you please give us your blessing? And he was like, yeah, okay. So that also happened. Can you imagine? I mean, if you're religious, you are trusting right? In this in La Bendición. But what if they didn't bless the set? What if it happened? Like if that priest wasn't there?
Yeah.
Again,
I don't,
if you're religious and if you know, and
no, yeah, I mean,
like
I
crazy,
definitely
right?
believe in that. I mean, I don't know if you grew up with your parents, or I had some family members who would literally go around houses with, I think, with ash, and put crosses on the like the house corners, and I'm like, what are they doing? They're blessing the house, and I'm like, oh,
They're
okay.
blessing the house. Yes.
But I grew up with that kind of family members and those type of beliefs of having a blessed home. And I definitely believe that when you go into, especially a hold them that's not brand new, but even then, thinking about the Poltergeist, the whole premise of the movie is that they were in a burial ground, right? Like a
yes,
so,
exactly.
yeah, so I feel like you don't know where your house is at. What kind of stuff was there before, right? Like, is there anything
remember
else?
the story I told you about my parents' house? Remember the story I told you about what they found in one of the closets? This black dress.
Yeah,
I mean, again,
room?
you don't know. There was a hole in the wall, and they found blah blah blah. Go watch that episode to get the full story. But yeah, you don't know. You don't know where you're moving into or what happened there before. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And again, we know you probably have your own experiences out there. Feel free, please tell us about your experiences. We'd like to hear about that. Maybe we might even bring you on to tell us your experience.
Oh yeah, because we don't want to keep this just to October. We are creepy by ourselves, and we love creepy stuff. I am creepy.
It's like
creepy stuff, and
things you don't say on the first date. Hi, yeah, my name's Stash, and I'm creepy.
I'm creepy. I like creepy stuff. I say that. I definitely say that if I ever go.
You say I'm creepy.
People know me. If you know me, you know this.
Love me. You know who I am.
If you know me, you know this. But yeah, it would be fun.
So, all right. So those are the 4 deaths.
I'm creepy. I like creepy stuff.
Let me tell you some more stuff. Creepy G. Let me tell you some other stuff. So, other things that I found out is that there was a scene where the brother, who I think his name was Robbie, where there was that crazy scene with the clown. If you recall this scene, around y todo eso. I guess what happened, he was actually very close to getting strangled to death by this clown in that scene. But it was Steven Spielberg who like said, "Hey, cut!" And then saved him from getting strangled to death, and he talks about it openly. So
that's crazy.
That was a close call, man. Can you imagine being that kid and about to choke to death? Like,
don't cast your children in scary movies.
Let me write this dollar amount on this napkin, and I'll be like, no.
Oh my god.
Quítate.
Don't.
Lo quiero mucho, no quiero. All right, and then of course, the most famous lore of this G, and I know you know this one. The skeletons that were used in the scenes were actually human skeletons. Did you know about that?
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
You didn't?
I didn't know that.
What?
But how? Okay, how? How? Okay. Where?
So isn't
that illegal?
Here's the scoop. Actually, back then in the 70s, 80s, it was actually very common for directors and movie producers to use real skeletons because they were cheap, easy to access. It costs more to get fake prosthetic plastic skeletons, so they would get the real deal. And this right here,
actually easy to access.
Apparently, I mean, think about the momias de Guanajuato, right? They probably went over and say, hey, gobernador de Guanajuato. Hey, compa, tienes esqueletos that we can use. Okay, how much? 200 pesos. That's like
200 pesos?
That's like 50 cents.
That's a steal.
Okay, yeah, vámonos, esqueletos, right? I mean, that's what it is, right? Just probably some creepy, weird, places to get them. In this scene, this skeleton right there is a real one, and the actress who who played, I think her name was, oh gosh, I don't even know. Is it Joe Beth Williams? She found out later that was real. So can you imagine you being in that movie, in that set, being in the water, and then popping up, and then later be like, oh hey, by the way, G, yeah, those are real skeletons.
Those are real skeletons. I would freak out. I would completely freak out.
Those are like real, and you were actually hugging them and making out with one. So.
Oh no.
But that's crazy. And I don't, you know what? I wouldn't even call those skeletons. I would call those mummies, right? Because skeletons are just bones. Let me show that picture again.
Okay, let me see.
That looks like a mummy, right? Like the flesh. No,
they still have flesh.
Yeah.
Ew.
And she had a lot of.
That's a real skeleton.
Yep. Real.
Do they have credits on the movie?
It goes up and it'll be like, I saw,
skeleton.
Pablo Francisco, Antonia Aguilaras.
Oh, that's crazy! I didn't know that.
I think you know what I believe. I mean, it hasn't been debunked that I know of, and it seems like when I went back, people said, yeah, it's very common practice for a lot of these movie companies to use real life skeletons because it was cost efficient. So it makes you wonder, going back to a lot of the movies that you saw, I was like, oh, is those real? Are those real?
Although, yes, from this moment on, if I see a skeleton on TV or in a movie, I'm going to be like,
yeah. I don't know if they still do that. I don't think they do, right? Things have changed a lot since then, and I imagine, the cost of prosthetics and all that's probably a lot cheaper. Or CGI, everything's CGI, right? But wow, that is just, and again, that's why they think that this movie was cursed. Is not only is it because of everything that's happened, but because they brought real life skeletons.
Yes, I'm going to tell you something. My brother is a doctor, and when he was in med school, he purchased from a friend, I don't know when, how, a human skull, so he can study the parts of the anatomy of blah 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 blah, and it was real, and I didn't know this. And when I remember, and a family member was in the house, and my brother was studying, and he had the skull right there, and she was freaking out because she's like, don't keep that thing here, do not keep that thing here. And I don't think if he got rid of it, but she was very that thing is cursed. That is a person. You don't know if the soul of that person is still around. And I mean, it freaked me out. It freaked my mom out. Of course, he was like, yeah.
He's a doctor. That lot of
he was like, yeah. But she said that, exactly that.
That's crazy. No, I think that's, it's interesting because a lot of people do have that, stuff like that, right? Like human skeletons and bones. And I'm like, why would you, I don't mind a fake one. I mean, look at that. That's not real, by the way. That's fake. So nobody say anything. Those are fake.
Why?
But
yeah, fake. Bring them. I mean, I have a skull on my finger.
Oh,
but yeah, if you have, but yeah, actual human skull.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't surprise me though, G. I don't know if you had this in Mexico, but here in the U.S., we saw a lot of these tours of, I forgot what it's called. I guess it's called the body exhibit. Have you heard of this? When they would have human bodies, but you see the muscles, right?
Yeah,
those are real humans también, G. And we're just it's like, hey, here's enjoy their remains and see what their muscles.
I love those.
They're cool, but they're
super cool.
What's the difference between that and the bones in the skull?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Here's the difference.
Those are cured.
Nope, nobody has it in their home, right? It's an exhibit, right? Now, if somebody has it
in their home, exactly, it's an exhibit.
Can you imagine walking in somebody's home and you see?
Yeah, that's a different story.
A body.
If you have, yeah, that's my aunt.
Oh, yeah,
she's just chilling in the living room, and you're like, yeah, no.
Yeah. Go ahead and sit on the couch. That's me. That's my aunt right there. Yeah. Oh, no thanks.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
No,
100%.
no.
So, all right. Well, hopefully we creeped you guys out a little bit. Hopefully you sleep well tonight. If there's other movies that you've heard about that have freaked you out, that scared you, that keep you up at night, or if there's anything we missed, please let us know. Interact. Let us know. What do you think? Do you think these are creepy, or just me and G are just freaking out over something that you're like, it's no big deal, bunch of babies, right? Feel free to let us know. But G, we are approaching the end of October, and we have one more episode before then. So should we tease them a little bit about what's to come?
We're approaching the end, but wait, I just want to give a special shout out. What?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I want to give a special shout out because 2 days ago, just going back a little bit from the Squid Game theme and on the same theme of Korean movies, which I am a huge fan, like right now, of all Korean productions. I have to give a special mention to Train to Busan. Remember I told you about this film about zombies?
But the zombies, yeah.
Yes, I'm a huge fan of zombies, like The Walking Dead before it got creepy and stupid. I was a huge fan of The Walking Dead. World War C is one of my favorite movies.
My favorite one.
Right? And everything zombie, I'm like into. I like that. And I saw this movie because, of course, I finished Squid Game and Netflix recommended it. And it's called Train to Busan. And actually, one of the actors of Squid Game is in this movie.
Oh.
I'm not going to spoil who.
Why
but
not?
It's the guy with the envelopes at the beginning that you play and you slap that. That's that guy. I don't know his name, and I'm probably going to butcher it. But it's a very good movie, and I'm sure is one of the greatest zombie movies I've ever seen.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
There you go. I'm gonna watch it, and I'll tell you if that's the trade. Because I'm a big World War Z fan because the zombies are fast.
Okay, I'm not going to say much.
I don't get scared of zombies. Are just like, I'm like,
no.
Come at me, bro. Right? Yeah. Okay. I'll try.
So please, if you watch it. Everybody that's watching or listening to us right now, go watch it and let us know, because it is very, very well done, creepy as hell, and it's very. And what happens with this kind of movies, especially now that I've watched a couple of Korean productions, is that they are like creepy and scary, but they also play heavy on your emotions. Like there's this aspect of emotion and that you're like creeped out, and the next second you're like weeping because something happens along the way. And yeah, it's very good. So please watch it.
All right. Well, there you go. Challenge accepted, everybody. G just challenge to watch Train to Busan. Korean production of zombies. All right.
Zombies.
So next episode.
There's a part 2 already. Haven't watched that.
Next episode of October is going to be Day of the Dead. We've been teasing this. Please watch this. You're not going to be disappointed. It's our first official guest of the Stash and Last show. A couple hints. It has to do something with
Nuestro padrino.
We're going to say hi to him. So I got my shirt here, G. We're talking about his shirts. I have this Sugar Skull nice shirt. What do you have? What are you wearing today? Are you sure nobody's behind you? Who's behind you?
I don't know what to say. Oh, who's behind you?
Is it a real skeleton?
Oh, no. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
All right. Well, thank you very much for another amazing episode. Hopefully you learned and you freaked out and you want to come for some more. Once again, we're going to tell you, don't forget to subscribe and follow us. Hit that like button. So hit that bell notification. And don't forget to follow us on all of our
real sound effects, people.
Real, none of this fake stuff, none of this fake skeletons. We get the real skeletons. So with that, once again, thank you very much. We are signing off. We can't wait for the next episode. El Estacio signing off.
And the Lash. See you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.